Alright, hey guys, let's catch up on this past week and talk about the goals for the upcoming week. Stay tuned. Alright, y'all, so it's been kind of a whirlwind this past week. I intended to do a what I eat in a day video a couple of times this week. I also intended to do a grocery haul that I did and filmed for, and then I just kind of never got that edited. So in this video, I'm going to include not the grocery haul, because now that's so far past us that it's just not going to make sense. But I will include, after my little blabbity blab, I will include some of the meals that I had over the course of this past week, so you can kind of see what I've been doing. So that's part of it. We will include kind of what I ate this week and talk about my fails this week, or like maybe my opportunities this week that I get to look at and go, I need to do that better, and maybe what my goals are for this upcoming week. Full disclosure, I am in the out. You can probably hear the birds and you can see the brick, right? This house. So as a result, I am itchy and twitchy because there are gnats and all of the pollen that is violating my sinus cavities. So that's that. Sorry if I rub my nose or itch or anything over the course of the video. Sorry. Nature, right? Like there's like just, anyway. Okay, so looking back at this past week, okay, what have I done well? I prepared. I really did. I had lots of good food on hand available between my grocery haul and having things that I took with me to work so that I could have a nice nutritious lunch at work. I've been really good about preparing, really bad at sticking to an eating window. So that's something that looking back on this past week is definitely an opportunity. I have found that the days when I do have breakfast before I leave the house to go to work, I'm hungry all day. And it doesn't matter if it is a really nutritious and fatty and tasty breakfast that fills me up, you know, if it's bacon and eggs or whatever, doesn't matter. Like 3 hours later, I am chomping at the bit because I'm hungry and I want a snack. And if I don't have breakfast, if I can get past that hump a couple hours after I first wake up, I'm not hungry until noon or 1 o'clock. And it's because it allows me to get into that level of ketosis to where my hunger kind of wanes and I can be a little bit more controlled as far as my choices. So I do think that really focusing on a more restricted eating window for this upcoming week will be a really good plan to implement, as far as just really kind of trying to keep myself from being hungry and like just chomping at the bit to have a snack. That takes me into my second opportunity of this past week, something that I realized was really a problem. I have been snacking, which we all know within the keto and carnivore space that snacking's not good. Every snackcident will give you a little insulin bump, and if you're trying to control insulin for fat loss, it's not a good plan, right? So I have definitely spent this past week really trying to pay attention to what I'm doing. But even though I'm paying attention, I've still been making dumb snackcidents, right? So it'll be something like I am at work and I make some mixed fruit cups to put out on the sales floor to sell to people. And then I have a little container of blueberries that's got maybe 15 blueberries left in it. And I'm like, okay. Right? And I have the blueberries. And so it'll be something like that, or like a little handful of pecan halves or something like that, or a string cheese. And they're, number one, I'm not hungry when I'm having these things. It's not like a real hunger. It's a boredom or a time filler. And so obviously I don't need them. And secondly, most of those foods, dairy, fruit, tend to only worsen any cravings that I may have. So that means going into this coming week, the snacks-a-dents have got to stop. So I'm going to really focus on having 2 solid, filling, nutritious meals a day. My eating window, here's my goal. Well, let's just jump into the goals for this upcoming week, because those 2 things are my big, the things looking back at this week that have been my biggest opportunities that I can improve. So for this upcoming week, my plan is a more restricted eating window every day. I wake up at 3:45 a.m. every day. I go to work about 6 a.m. And even though I'm up that early, first meal around like noon is perfect. So I do have several hours before I break my fast, because prior to that I'm only drinking electrolyte water and coffee. And so I do have that's a manageable window for me. So I will be breaking my fast no earlier than noon this coming week. As far as the time to close my eating window, I typically go to sleep anytime between 8:30 and 9:30 p.m. So I don't want to extend my eating window too late. First of all, I don't eat right before bed as a general habit. That's usually when we're just sitting back and chilling and kind of like nodding off on the couch because we're tired people, because we get up so early. So I think I'm going to be closing my eating window about 7:30, or between 7 and 7:30, just depending on how I'm feeling. So we'll plan on 12 to 7 as being my eating window, and we'll go from there if it needs any tweaking over the course of the week. But that's my goal. Between those 2 time periods is when I'll have my meals, and my goal is 2 meals a day. I can definitely squeeze in plenty of protein between 2 good-sized meals, and I typically have my dinner around 6, so having one at 12, one at 6 seems to be a great little separation of time where I can build up enough appetite to have another protein-filled dinner. So that's the plan there as far as eating window. Additionally, no snacks in the eating window, right? We're having the 2 meals. That's it. 2 meals, no snacks. And nothing sweet that's chewy. So no fruit, no nuts, no cheese. As much as I love cheese, but I'm not going to do cheese because I do feel like it still triggers, right? So my goal for the week is to stay either, keep my meals either carnivore or as close to carnivore as possible, just to kind of dial in my palate, and get rid of all of those cravings for those sweet things, to completely eradicate all the snacking this week, and to have that really specific eating window. So as far as way of eating goes, that's that plan. Additionally, 2 other main points that I want to do this upcoming week, and these are things that I'm going to document for the sake of sharing with y'all for accountability. Number 1, walking every day. My goal is 20,000 steps a day. Okay? I usually hit that, but my days off I don't. My days off I tend to be more around 12,000, which is still great. It's still great. But at the end of the week, I'm going to track and screenshot each day what my steps are, and then I'm going to take the average for the week, and I want to average a minimum of 20,000 for this coming week. So that will be Monday through Sunday of this coming week that I'm going to accumulate all of those steps to see if I can average 20,000. And I think I can. The only problem is that it requires outside, but I'll survive with the help of Zyrtec. So yeah, we're going to do the steps. And number 2, I am tracking my food. 2 reasons I'm doing a lot of 2s today. Number 1, I need to track my food. I haven't been doing it, and I feel like it's important to weigh and measure to get a good idea of volume. I don't believe that calories in, calories out is everything, but I do think it's still worth looking at and seeing what you're consuming over the course of a day or a week, and if you're seeing success or if you're not. I don't think there's any harm in tracking that. So I'm going to do that in order to track the calories, but also to track my protein, because I need to prioritize my protein. So tracking, doing that, number one, for accountability for myself and to actually have that data. And number two, because if I am tracking and sending my totals each day to my wonderful sister-in-law, Angela, she will do the same. The peer pressure will be great. And she needs to be doing it. She hadn't been doing it in a while. Angie, talking to you. You need to be tracking. This is a thing we're doing, right? Ugh. It's not hot anymore. All right, someone explained to me the science behind the fact that hot coffee is delicious and iced coffee is delicious, but that temperature in between where this is right now is absolutely the most wretched thing on the planet. I want to know the science. Anyway, all right, so those are the plans, right? This upcoming week. Time restricted eating, no snack accidents, walk an average of 20,000 steps a day, track all my food. We're doing that. And then I'll update y'all on Monday with all of the data and any progress. Okay? So I'm going to throw up here my starting weight. This was as of yesterday, so it is relatively accurate for today. And I'm going to start this coming week, first thing tomorrow morning, and we'll get going. All right? So let's do that. It's gonna be a good time. We'll have a good week. All right. And I will also be taking snapshots of all of my food. I will be including it over on my Instagram at Southern Ketovore, and I'll also include it in my update video next Monday. So I will see y'all then, and